It was a sunny Saturday morning in Charleston, South Carolina. The warm light filtered through the cream-colored curtains of my kitchen, giving the room a soft golden glow. I had been experimenting in my kitchen all week, trying to perfect a new chocolate cake recipe I had stumbled upon in an old cookbook at the local library. Baking had always been my way of expressing love, and today I felt particularly excited to share something special. David, my neighbor and longtime friend, had always been a fan of my cooking. Ever since we had met in the community garden a few years ago, our friendship had grown over shared interests: gardening, cooking, and the occasional movie night. David was the kind of person who noticed small details, the way the light hit the autumn leaves, or how the smell of fresh bread could brighten an entire day. He had a gentle smile, deep hazel eyes, and a laugh that was both contagious and warm. Over the years, I found myself looking forward to our small interactions more than I expected. I had spent hours perfecting the cake. Each ingredient was measured carefully, every step executed with precision. But it wasn't just about following the recipe, it was about adding a touch of my own creativity. A hint of cinnamon here, a subtle drizzle of caramel there. I wanted this cake to be memorable. As I placed the cake on the countertop to cool, my phone buzzed. It was David. "Hey, I just finished my morning run. Are you home? I could use some of that famous chocolate cake of yours," he texted, his usual playful tone evident even through the words on the screen. I smiled, feeling a flutter in my chest. Perfect timing. "I just finished baking something new. You have to taste it," I replied. Within minutes, there was a soft knock at the door. I opened it to find David standing there, casual in a gray hoodie and jeans, with a towel slung over his shoulder. His hair was slightly tousled, and the faintest hint of perspiration on his forehead made him look both athletic and approachable. "Wow, that smells incredible," he said as soon as he stepped inside. He glanced around the kitchen, his eyes lighting up at the sight of the cake. "You've been busy." I laughed softly. "You have no idea. I've been perfecting this all week. It's my secret recipe. I think you'll like it." He leaned casually against the counter, giving me his full attention. "I'm sure I'll love it. You always make the best desserts." As we sliced the cake together, I felt an unexpected warmth spread through me. The aroma of chocolate mixed with cinnamon filled the kitchen, making everything feel cozy and intimate. David picked up a slice, his eyes widening slightly. "Wow, this is amazing. The flavors, it's like nothing I've ever tasted before." I laughed, a little self-conscious. "I added a little twist, just for you." He smiled, and there was a moment, a brief, heart-stopping pause, where our eyes met. I could feel the unspoken connection, the subtle electricity of familiarity and affection that had been building over the years. We moved to the small dining table, each of us with a slice of cake. Conversation flowed effortlessly, as it always did with David. We talked about everything and nothing, upcoming community events, our favorite books, and memories from childhood. But somewhere between the laughter and the shared bites of cake, I felt my feelings growing stronger. There was a gentleness in David that made it easy to imagine a future filled with warmth, laughter, and shared dreams. After a while, David leaned back in his chair, smiling contentedly. "You know, I've had a lot of chocolate cake in my life, but this feels different. It feels like home." I felt a soft blush on my cheeks. "That's sweet of you to say. I guess that's the effect I was hoping for." He reached across the table, brushing a stray crumb from my hand. The simple gesture made my heart skip a beat. "I'm serious," he said softly. "You have a way of making everything feel special." There was a quiet pause, filled with the hum of the afternoon sun streaming through the window. I realized I didn't want this moment to end. Not the laughter, not the conversation, not the quiet closeness we shared. "David," I said hesitantly, I've always looked forward to our time together. More than I probably should have." His eyes softened, and he leaned slightly closer. "I feel the same way. I guess I didn't realize how much until today." A gentle warmth spread through me, and I found myself smiling. It was the kind of smile that came from deep inside, a mixture of joy, comfort, and something tender that had been waiting to be acknowledged. For the rest of the afternoon, we stayed in the kitchen, sharing stories and sipping tea, the chocolate cake forgotten for a moment in our easy conversation. The sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange. David glanced at the window, then back at me, and for a fleeting second, the world seemed to narrow down to just the two of us. "I guess I should head home before it gets dark," he said reluctantly, standing up. I felt a pang of disappointment but hid it with a soft smile. "Yeah, I understand. But thank you, David, for spending the day here. It meant a lot." He reached out, taking my hand gently. "It meant a lot to me too. And I'd love to do this again, maybe even sooner than next Saturday." I felt my heart lift at his words. "I'd like that," I said softly, squeezing his hand in return. As he walked to the door, he turned back with that familiar, warm smile. "You really are amazing," he said, before stepping outside. I watched him go, a strange mixture of happiness and longing filling me. I knew something had shifted between us that day. The bond we shared as friends had deepened into something more meaningful, more tender. And for the first time in a long time, I felt a thrilling sense of hope for the future. Over the next few weeks, our relationship blossomed naturally. We spent more afternoons together, sharing meals, exploring the town, and laughing over little adventures. There was no rush, no pressure, just the quiet, beautiful development of a connection built on mutual respect, care, and a growing affection. One evening, as we sat on the small porch of my house, watching the stars begin to appear in the clear Charleston sky, David turned to me. "You know, I've never met anyone like you," he said quietly. "You make life feel brighter." I felt a lump in my throat, emotions swirling. "I feel the same way, David. You've made these past few months unforgettable." He reached for my hand, holding it with gentle assurance. "Then let's make many more unforgettable moments together." I smiled, feeling a warmth that was both comforting and exhilarating. The night air was cool, the stars twinkling above, and in that quiet moment, I realized that what we had was something rare and beautiful. A connection that wasn't rushed or forced, but grew naturally, nurtured by shared joy, understanding, and kindness. And as we sat there, hand in hand, I knew that this was just the beginning of a story filled with laughter, love, and countless afternoons spent baking, talking, and dreaming together. From that day forward, our bond grew stronger. The chocolate cake, once just a simple recipe, became a symbol of our connection, a reminder of the day everything changed, the day a sweet gesture turned into the start of something truly special. Life in Charleston continued with its usual rhythm, but now every morning, every meal, and every shared moment held a subtle excitement.